Three of the biggest stinkers of units in the entirety of FFBE history actually got their ability awakenings this weekend. We're going to be going over Crimson, Yego, and Nagi here today. Some fantastic enhancements for these characters. Hybrid damage dealer, once again, is coming back very strong. So let's get in here today. Thank you guys for the support. You guys who support me on Patreon as well as by becoming a YouTube channel member. If you want to see more stuff like this, go ahead, hit that like button, notification on, hit the subscription button, and let's dive right on in here with Crimson for you guys. Crimson was a pretty okay damage dealer when he came out, but quickly fell off. He had triple cast unlocked automatically on one, but only for a couple of turns. Let's see if they fixed that, and I'm gonna tell you guys, yes, they did fix that here. So his ability awakening here that we're gonna roll in with is his brand new skill that comes from his Spirit plus 20% passive. Protector's Hidden Blade is gonna be a Divine Ruination skill that is a two-part skill. Backloaded 8.0 mod with ignore 50% defense. The front part is going to be a 1.0 ignore 50% defense. So any sort of damage multiplier increases are going into this skill 4 times for you. So this is going to be your main damage dealing bread and butter spam skill. Definitely pick this up. And as you can see, they're not too expensive. There's no skills in here that are costing millions and millions of gil per skill to awaken, but he's gonna have a fair amount of them. So he's gonna be a little bit expensive for you if you're looking into using Crimson for that sweet win animation where he throws that hood up. The next two skills we have is Fire Riser +2 and Ice Riser +2. Very similar in what they do. One is going to be a fire-based skill with a fire imbue. The other one is going to be an ice-based skill with an ice imbue. They're both going to give you a demon killer buff for 8 turns, 75% demon killer there. On top of that, they're also going to give you a imperil of 100% for the respective elements. So you have 100% fire imbue with 100% fire imperil, and ice imbue with 100% ice imperil. And then on top of that, they are also giving you a 200% attack and defense buff for 8 turns as well. So you're going to throw this skill in there when you're ready to do damage, fire or ice, and you're going to come back later on 8 turns down the road and do it again. And then in the meantime, you're just going to be spamming out Protector's Hidden Blade. So you definitely want all 3 of these skills here. Noble Banishing Blade here is a skill that you're going to be picking up if you want an even larger demon buff of 150%. So there's a lot of fights out there where you're fighting against a demon. You're going to want to pick this one up for those situations as well. And we also are moving into Heat Wave Formation Strike as well as a Blizzard Formation Strike. These are going to be 2 cooldown skills for you to go ahead and enhance here. These are available on turn 4. They have a pretty large multiplier, 36 times multiplier each. They're also going to give you a multiplier buff for Protector's Hidden Blade, which, as we talked about, going to go into that skill 4 times. So it's a 2.5 times mod, so it's actually a 10 times multiplier increase for that skill. And it's also going to re-unlock your triple sword combo. So this is going to be your ways to keep your triple sword combo up and ready to go. It is a 5 unlock a turn. So excuse me, it's going to be unlocked for 5 additional turns. So you'll be able to use this on turn 4, both of them, and it's going to unlock triple sword combo again for 5 turns. So as long as you're not dying, or even if you do die, you can just use the other one if you want to there, because they don't imbue you, they just do a 100% imperil for you there. So this is going to be a pretty reasonable way to keep that triple sword combo unlocked starting turn 4. Last but not least, we have 2 other things to go over with his passives. Earnest Swordsman is going to give him 150% true double hand, some fire resistance, as well as some attack, defense, spirit, and HP. Then we have the Burden of the Hero, says trustability, so you definitely still need to have this activated, whether you're using his TMR or his super TMR. It's going to unlock triple sword combo at the start of the battle for 4 turns, okay, instead of 3 turns. It's also going to give you some demon killer, attack, defense, spirit, HP, and MP 40%, and immunity to blind, disease, petrify, as well as MP plus 5% per turn. Crimson's not the best damage dealer in the game by any stretch of the imagination. He didn't come up and snatch the #1 slot away, but he is actually really good where we are right now. So if you're looking for a physical damage dealer you don't have one, you haven't upgraded in a while, he's going to be some of the better damage dealers that you can pick up, and you're top 10 damage dealers in the game, somewhere around there. So very strong character for you to pick up if you're looking to breathe a little bit of a DPS into your team again without having to pull for new character. Now, speaking of true double hand, we also have Yego here coming back in. Yego's gonna be the weakest of the 3, and let's go over. She also does damage just a little bit under Crimson, so I don't want to sell her too short because I know Yego's kind of a meme character, but she does actually can do some considerable damage for you. And let's go over Marlboro Rider +2. This is going to be a passive that you're going to pick up. It's just going to give you more stats. Attack percent with a whip, HP and MP percent, all of that stuff. So you're going to pick this up if you're going to use her. She also has Demon and Plant Killer of 100% for you there. So keep that in mind. Bad Breath +2, just skip over this skill. You don't need it. It's bad. All right, just Bad Breath is bad. That's all I can say about Bad Breath there. Now we have Ground Whip here, which you can use to give some LB gauge to your party. 100% Earth and Peril if you do need that. Outside of that, you're not really going to be using this skill all that much. So skip it if you want. It is 120,000 gil though, so it's pretty cheap to upgrade there. Now we have Gamma Star and Get Serious. So Gamma Star is going to be a skill that you're going to get so you can get some extra HP and extra stats. 80% attack, defense, spirit, and HP 40%. 100% chance to ignore fatal damage when HP is above 10%. So a little bit of guts action for you there when you upgrade this skill. So definitely pick that up if you are using Yego. And we move to our main two skills here. We have Get Serious, Toxic Whip, and Brutal Whip. So Get Serious is going to be her big cooldown skill. 6-turn cooldown, available on turn 1. 300% attack buff, can't be dispelled. Cures attack, defense, magic, and spirit break on her. Gives her attack, defense, magic, and spirit break resistance. Gives her 100 MP per turn for 6 turns. And unlocks Triple Whip for 7 turns for you there. So permanent access to Triple Whip. Brutal Whip is going to be a 120% Earth and Peril, which by the previous skill, the 100% one, not really all that useful because you have a 120% Earth and Peril here. And she's also going to Earth Imbue herself for 5 turns there. So definitely snag that Brutal Whip. Toxic Whip is a cooldown skill, inflicts death or does 36 times multiplier to all enemies. If you can't death something because it's immune, it's just going to do the 36 times multiplier all the time. It's going to be a cooldown skill for you to get in there and do some damage. She also has access to Marlboro support down here. You're either going to do some damage or you're going to decrease Isolate and Dark Resist 120% for 2 turns to all enemies, but the proc rate for that in Peril is going to be 5%. The thing that's going to happen 95% of the time is a very terrible damage over time poison type status ailment. It's not a status ailment, but you know what I'm saying. It's a dot. It's a damage over time thing. Not that good there. So Yego, she can be used. She's going to do a little bit less than what Crimson does, but I don't know how many of you guys are out there using Yego, so go ahead if you are going to be using Yego. She's also not like a beloved character. I don't think a lot of people actually like Yego, but if you like Marlboros, you want a Marlboro on your team, you have access to it. Now we have Nagi. Hybrid is back. Very strong hybrid damage dealer. I know you guys love hybrid out there. She's also going to be very easy for you to use as well. So let's go over Nagi real quick and talk about all of her stuff here. So Nagi, her magic plus 20% passive. If you awaken this, it's going to give her the true dual wield 6 times multiplier cap. So definitely max that one out. Then we have water projection and ice splinters. These are both going to be 20 times base multipliers. One of them is going to be absolute 0. The other one's going to be bolting strike. These are not her main damage dealing skills. Although if you want to use them, you can. They're going to be a little bit weak multiplier wise, but they're also going to give her different chaining families, right? One of them is bolting strike and water projection. Ice splinters is absolute 0. So you can skip these if you want to because it's not her main damage kit. Ambush plus 2 is going to give her physical magical damage against demons, humans, and undead of 100%. So some of these things right here, these are some of the most popular enemy types in the game, so definitely get this skill. It's going to give her 50% magic, 30% attack, and it's going to make her immune to paralysis, disease, and petrify. Now Brilliance here and Dark Spirits, these are her main 2 damage dealing skills. Brilliance plus 2 is a light hybrid 30 times multiplier to one enemy with a 120% light and peril for 5 turns to that enemy. This is a Divine Ruination chaining frame family, so it's back again. Another Divine Ruination skill being brought back up into the forefront in FFBE. Dark Spirits is the same thing as Brilliance, except it is a dark hybrid damage, still 30 times mod, Dark and Peril for 120% for 5 turns to enemy there. So these are going to be your main 2 spamming damage dealing skills. You're going to be picking these up if you're going to be using Nagi. Now we have Iota Star, True Projection, and Clad in Power. So Iota Star is her trustability. You're going to pick this up, put it on her. It gives her 150% attack true dual wield, so that's almost the cap right there alone. And she's gonna get killers for demons, humans, and undeads again. It's also gonna give her 120% attack and magic, as well as 50% defense, spirit, and HP. So definitely pick this up. We have true projection here, which is the other side of Iota Star. This is gonna give you 150% magic true dual wield, 40% evasion, 50% limit burst damage, and then a 10 times multiplier increase to Brilliance, Dark Spirits, and Dying Flora. So those 30 times multipliers on Brilliance and Dark Spirits, those are actually going to be 40 times multipliers there, just straight out the gate, and that's going to get buffed up even more with another skill. It's also going to buff Ice Splinters and Water Projection by 5. So Ice Splinters and Water Projection, like I said, much lower multipliers than Brilliance and Dark Spirits. That's why they're not part of her main damage dealing skills. Now we also have Clad in Power, which is going to clad you in some power. Attack and magic 250% for 5 turns to the caster. Ice, Wind, Light, and Dark resist of 100% down for 5 turns to all enemies. And then you get a 15 times multiplier increase to Dying Floor, Ice Splinters, and Water Projection, and a 20 times multiplier to Brilliance, Dark Spirits, and Projection, Dance of Darkness. So this is going to make those 30 times multipliers with her passive to make them 40. This is going to make them a 60 times multiplier there. Very powerful. It also will buff Dance of Destruction, but Dance of Destruction is like a weird chain finishing skill. Not the greatest thing at all, really, if you ask me. It's going to be really kind of awkward. You can get in there possibly. You're going to have to double chain finish. You have to make like a pretty long chain. A 60 attack frame. I think it's a pretty fast attack, so we'll have to see. You can do that if you want. It's a little bit higher multiplier than just using Dark Spirits and Brilliance, but that's gonna be Nagi. She's gonna be really easy to use. You're just gonna get in there, you're gonna use Clad in Power, and then you're just gonna spam either her Dark Spirits or her Brilliance skill. You're just gonna dual wield Divine Ruination, do damage. She does not have access to triple cast, and she still does do a considerable amount of damage. If you're using Aurora Frivia and you want to upgrade, Nagi's very similar. If you have some true dual wield stuff in there, some attack and magic stuff, you want to upgrade from Aurora Frivia, Nagi right in there. It does more damage, still has all the human killer, demon killer, all of that stuff for you to use there. Very solid character if you have access to a Nagi. So that's going to be it for today, guys. Thank you guys so much for the support once again. If you want to see more stuff, FFBE, War of the Visions, whatever it is, check out the channel here. Subscribe for more. Thank you guys so much for the support. Check out the Twitch as well. As always, guys, stay safe out there, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care, guys.